Hello and welcome to another episode of Musical Musings. I'm joined by a very special guest.
How you doing? Thanks very much for having me. I'm Anthony. I'm the lead singer of Greenock Band, which is in Scotland. A band called Veras. We're just outside Glasgow, and it's kind of funky soul pop. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Most welcome. So, tell me for a starting point, how did you get into music? Who sort of supported your career, stuff like that?
So I was quite late to get into music, to be honest. I mean, well, I've always enjoyed music, but actually performing it. I've just turned 32, but I didn't actually sing in public until I was 18. So it was actually my brother Chris, who is our drummer in the band. He was always playing drums and had his mates around, jamming away and listening to loads of different genres. And yeah, that kind of inspired me. And I thought, you know, I'd like to get in on this, but I was a bit lazy. I didn't have the attention span to learn an instrument. I tried bass, but gave it up after a while. So yeah, my brother Chris in the band, he inspired me to get into music, and also another friend Neil, that I was in school with. I was just hanging about with him, and he was playing in different places, singing and playing acoustic guitar, and yeah, I just got involved with that, and he was quite encouraging. So started doing duets with him, and then kind of took it from there.
So, do you come from, like, you said your brother, but is there anyone else in your family that's musical?
Not really, to be honest. I'm probably saying no, and there's probably someone at home thinking, me, but, with regards to instruments and stuff like that, no, it's just me and my brother Chris. Um, but yeah, music's been a big part of my life, and growing up, there was always music on in the car, with my mum and dad, listening to people like Brian Adams, a Scottish band Del Amitri, Lionel Richie, Meatloaf. That's kind of what I grew up listening to in the car when I was a wee guy, singing in the back. So it's always been
Uh,
a big part of my life, but just myself and Chris, the drummer, were the only ones that have kind of gone in that direction with instruments and singing.
so, what sort of music have you got out there now for the viewers? I mean, I've listened to some of your stuff, but
Yep.
if you want to direct the viewers to anything in particular.
Yeah. So to start with, Soviras, we uh, we formed in 2019, and kind of took a year to build the band up and write some material, and then it got to 2020 ready to gig, and obviously COVID happened, so we weren't able to do that. So while the kind of pandemic was happening, we wanted to try and get our music out there for people to hear. So we went to a local recording studio once restrictions eased up, and we recorded a live set, which is available on YouTube to watch. It's called Sovira's In Session. We're a funky soul pop band, so that's the more kind of soulful side of things. It's a bit kind of chilled out, um, yeah, and a bit more mellow. But as we've been able to gig and spend a bit more time with each other over the last year or two, we've kind of brought more of that funky side in. And we recently, at the same place, Soundshape Studios in Greenock, recorded Yeah Funkin' Dancer, which is our debut EP. It's got 5 tracks on it and 2 kind of comedy skits in between the songs. And you can get that everywhere. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much any streaming service that you use, it's on there. So it's available for everyone. And yeah, the comedy skits they're a bit kind of out there. So they're a bit like Marmite. Some people like them, some people won't. But it kind of just shows us as a band. We take our music seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously, and we like to have a bit of a laugh at the same time as writing some tunes.
That's the perfect combination, really, isn't it? So, what goes into your process of writing a song? I always ask my guests that.
Yeah, so we get together at the band practice, and it, it's different depending on what the song is. But the way it normally goes for most songs would be either our bass player Callum or our guitarist Stephen would maybe come up with, just start playing a riff, or a chord progression, that they've just been jamming in their house. And we get the rest of the guys, we just kind of take it from there, see how it feels, jam along, see if we can come up with something. Um, and yeah, if we're feeling it and we continue with that, we'll maybe I'll ask the guys to kind of keep looping a verse or loop the chorus, till I find a vocal melody in my head, and I'll be kind of singing along to that with the guys with no actual lyrics, just the kind of melody to see how it goes. If we feel that that fits, then I'll keep that in my head, and I'll start kind of noting down lyrics. and just kind of try it and see what works, see what doesn't work. We also have a keyboard and trumpet player, Graham, who joined us a couple of months ago. So he'll kind of come in with some keys to boost it up, everything up, and just make the sound a bit fuller. But yeah, that's the way it normally goes. Normally music and then the lyrics.
So the next sort of thing I'm going to ask you is, where do you see yourselves going forward?
So the plan would be world domination, but we're fully aware that it's extremely hard to make it in the music business. We're not daft, but we love making music, and I think a bare minimum for us would be, moving forward, say a few years down the line, we'd like to be able to pack in the day jobs. Respectfully, if any of our employers are listening right now, respectfully leave the day job and be able to do music full time. But yeah, like anyone, we would obviously like to be playing big arena shows or stadiums, you know what I mean, festivals. But yeah, I think at the very least we would settle as this being our full-time job and being able to make a living and do music full-time. That would be fantastic. That'd be a good start, at least.
Mm-hmm. So you touched on it earlier because you said about singing along in the back of the car and that when you were younger. But who were your sort of big musical inspirations?
So for me to do music, the bands that I was listening to that really made me want to be a musician were McFly and Busted. Myself and my mate Neil that I spoke about, that's what we kind of started off doing. I mate Jay as well. Like my first concert was Busted at SECC in Glasgow, and I think it was like the 4th or 5th of December 2005. I was 15 at the time, and yeah, I just remember it being amazing, thinking I want to do that. Then I think they split like a month later or something like that.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty sure I shed a tear. I was a wee guy.
Me too.
And
I was just 8, that was all.
yeah, so I was absolutely gutted because I'd just seen them. I thought, oh, that's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for all the new stuff. Yeah, and my mate Neil was like, man, don't worry about that. Just band McFly, and I was like, that. Yeah, I'll give them a go. And I think I've seen them about 10 times or something like that over the years. So yeah, McFly and Busted are probably the two main ones. And then my music taste over the years, I still like those two bands. And yeah, I've kind of, I like more stuff now. But I went and saw Busted when they came back. I think Pigs Can Fly tour. I went and saw them in Glasgow, and then they did the night driver stuff. Went and saw them there, and then I had tickets for McFly at the SEC. Sorry, the Hydro, which is an arena now in Glasgow, which is even bigger across the street. I had tickets for that, but I couldn't go at the time. I can't remember when that was, last year, I think. And I got COVID. So, and my wife did as well. So we gave our tickets to our drummer, Chris, my brother, who likes McFly as well, but he's never managed to get tickets over the years to see them. So him and his missus went and saw them. And it was actually, I think Tom actually had COVID as well. So some wee guy filled in at the show for him.
Yeah.
My band, no, I can't remember what the band was called, but apparently the guy did
It was
amazing.
Chapter 13. He was on Britain's Got Talent or something.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently he absolutely smashed it. So they've been pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, it would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
you say that your music taste has changed over the years. Would you say that's affected you as a musician or just you as a person?
Definitely, both, to be fair. I think it's just, I think as you get older, you just kind of start branching out a bit more, and McFly and Busted were like a massive part of my life. Kind of in my teenage years and even into my early 20s. And they still are now, do you know what I mean? Like every time they go on tour, I'm at the front of the queue. I'm like, yes, I'll get tickets to that. But kind of just different phases of my life, I've just started listening to different people. So I really like John Mayer, the American singer. I remember waking up one morning, I was sharing a room with my brother at the time, in my teens, and he was watching a DVD called Where the Light Is, and it was John Mayer live in LA. And I was just like, what is this? This sounds amazing. I like people like Alan Stone, another American guy, Plan B. And I really like, as I've got older, I've started listening to kind of Motowny stuff. So I really like Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and people like that. But to be honest, I listen to anything. And I'd probably credit that to my brother Chris, because he likes everything from McFly to Slipknot. Do you know what I mean? I'm a fan of music. If it's good, it's good. I don't think anyone should limit themselves to a particular genre. Um, you're obviously going to have your favourites and your kind of go-tos, but I think music's music. If it sounds good, it sounds good. And you know what I mean? McFly will suit for one mood I'm in, or maybe, I don't know, Muse would suit for another. Do you know what I mean? I think just tailor your music choices to whatever mood you're in and whatever day it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. So, on average, how long would you say it takes you to write a song, as we were talking about your process earlier?
I'm fully aware that this isn't going to be the case for all bands, but for the majority of our songs, we've managed to write them pretty quickly. It's been in maybe one or two writing sessions. Um, yeah, we practice every week on a Monday night um, for 3 hours. So something it could be like we come in and we've got a show coming up, and the plan is to rehearse the set, like an hour-long set. But in the warm-up, our guitarist Stephen is playing a riff that he's been playing at home. If it feels good, we'll just kind of put the set to the side and we'll be like, keep playing that. And we could end up writing a song in 3 hours that ends up going into the set and becomes our new favourite one. But then there's other ones where we've got a couple just now that kind of we write and it gets to a certain point and then it gets kind of put to the side. And then we'll maybe revisit that later down the line because another new song is kind of taken over at the next session. So yeah, we write them pretty quickly, but there are times where we don't. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of songs that we've got that we're thinking, oh, this is going to be good, but then we just kind of can't finish it off and just put it to the side and it never gets finished. But I think as a band, that's quite good in a sense because if we ever get to a point where we can't think of anything new at that particular point, we've still got a bank of songs that are kind of half there that we could revisit and see where we can go with them.
hmm So, you mentioned you've got like gig coming up. So, what are your sort of immediate future plans for the band so that people are aware?
Yeah. So we have definitely our biggest show coming up since we've been a band on Saturday, the 30th of July. So what's that? A week on Saturday. Um, and there's an island just off the coast of the town we live in. It's called the Isle of Bute, and they have a festival called Bute Fest. And they have the main stage, and then they have the second stage, and then they have I think they have maybe acoustic tents and stuff like that. And on the second stage on the Saturday night, we're headlining, so that's a massive deal for us. It was just great to be involved in the festival. So the fact that we were booked as the headline act for the second stage is a real honour. So um, we're not being cocky, but I'm just meaning in well, kind of practicality. We're on after the main stage closes, so we are literally the last band of that whole day. So we're expecting that the tent will be full, and we'll be playing to a couple of thousand people. Fingers crossed that happens. But yeah, I'm not suggesting that they're all coming to see us. I think just that we are the final band on that day, so I'm expecting it to be pretty busy. So that's fantastic for us. That's a massive opportunity for us to play to a big amount of people and hopefully leave a lasting impression. We've got a few festivals after that as well. There's one that's touring the UK. It's called Foodies Festival, and on the 12th of August we're playing in Edinburgh at Foodies, and then on the sorry, I'm getting that wrong. It's the 7th that we're playing in Edinburgh, and then on the 12th, the following week, we're playing in Glasgow at Foodies Festival. And it's kind of like you've got your main stage, you've got your smaller stage, and then instead of like the acoustic tents, it's pretty cool. It's like celebrity chefs and stuff like that. So you can go in and have a bit of ready, steady cooking, watch some chefs cook some food for you if you're into that.
Always
So
sounds good, yeah.
yeah, bit of food, bit of booze, if that's your thing, and some music. So we're looking forward to all of them. Should be good.
Yeah. So, what would you say is a message you would like to give to anyone trying to break in the industry?
I think a main thing is, I know it might sound cheesy, but stay humble throughout. If you ever get like for us, we've got booked for some decent support slots. We've got some really good support slots, like in our eyes, you know what I mean? It's been great. And then obviously getting this headline slot. There's bands that would just expect that. Or it might mean nothing to them. It's a massive deal to us. But I think at any stage, if you get better and better gigs, or the more people play to, just don't get big-headed, because you come across some people in bands or in the music industry and they're just full of themselves. Not everybody, most people are fine, but you do come across a few people and it's just dead off-putting. It's just like, we're all people. We all love music. Doesn't matter if you're the biggest band in the world or a band just starting out. It's like we're just people. Let's just all enjoy each other's music. And something I would also say is, it's not a competition. So if you've got local bands in your town that are kind of, say you're a young band that are 18 or something, there's a few other bands. Those bands aren't your rivals. It's not football. You don't need to compete against them. You should support each other. And if you've got a show, get that band to support you, and then switch it round. When they've got a show, you go and support them. Go and watch their gigs, even if your band's not playing. Because I think I kind of made that mistake with a previous band. I was looking at other local bands as like rivals, and say they had more followers than us, I was a bit jealous, or I was like desperate to get more than them. And it's just like, why? It doesn't get you anywhere. Whereas you might as well just go and be nice to each other, support each other, and then see if your mate's band gets a bigger gig than you. Fantastic. Go and give them a high five, you know what I mean, and go and watch them. Yeah, just support each other. Don't be big-headed, and enjoy yourself. That's what I would say.
Yeah. So you mentioned your EP earlier.
Yep.
What is your individual favourite track on that?
For me, it was the first single that we released off of it, which is the final track on the EP. It's called Stadium Heights. It did reasonably well for an unsigned band. We were really pleased with how it got received. It got quite a lot of play on local radio stations and community radio stations, which we're ridiculously grateful for. They don't need to play our songs, you know what I mean? But they chose to when we submitted it, and it really has helped us with getting more people kind of following and interacting with us online. And it also got some play on a few of the BBC stations. So the first channel that kind of picked it up, BBC wise, was BBC Rapal, which a lot of people might not be aware of unless you live in Scotland. Right up the very north of Scotland and some of the islands, people still speak Gaelic as their first language. So the presenters, that's how they would present the show in Gaelic, and they played our song, and it was really nice to kind of just get our music out to basically the very north of the country, and a kind of, yeah, a different area of Scotland. It was nice for them to pick that up and play that to the people on the islands and stuff like that. Then we were on BBC Introducing, which was awesome. It was a kind of bucket list thing for the band. We managed to get on that in our song. And then BBC Scotland made Stadium Heights their single of the week on a show called The Afternoon Show. So I went on and I spoke to the presenter about kind of what we're doing now. You know what I mean? Just chatting away. And then they played the song every day that whole week, which got us a bit more exposure. So yeah, that's not why it's my favourite song. It's probably been the most successful and the most popular off of the EP. But it's a feel good song. It's usually the song we do for our encore, if we get one. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones you're kind of waiting for an encore, hoping you get one. If you don't, I'll come back on and I'll play it anyway. So,
Yeah, I get you.
You're hoping people go, one more tune, but they don't. They're getting it anyway. So, because we want to play it. It's the most fun to play, and it's just a kind of feel-good song and stuff like that. So, usually last on the set list to try and make people leave with a lasting impression and some good feelings.
Love that. I mean, just to round off, I have a couple of viewer questions, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Some of them are a bit random, but we're just going to go with it and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
What is your go-to beverage when writing a song?
Beverage for me normally in this band, it's water because I'm normally driving when we're writing a song. But if we were at home, I would probably say there's a tonic wine in Scotland called El Dorado, and it's kind of like Buckfast but not as thick. So yeah, a bottle of LD is usually my kind of go-to. It's what I usually do. That's usually what I drink after a gig. I don't normally drink when we're performing. I just like to keep my vocal cords all nice and relaxed. You know what I mean? And because some of the songs are quite hard to sing, so I don't want to kind of risk not hitting those notes and then people walking away and not really enjoying the song. So focus on that. Stick to the water. And then the second that I'm off stage, a bottle of LD is getting cracked open.
Love that. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Uh, I kind of like it. I kind of like it, to be fair. I can see why people don't like it, but I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I haven't torn into a ham and pineapple pizza before and enjoyed it. So, do you know what? I'm going to say yeah, it does.
Okay, and the final sort of viewer question is if you could have a dinner party with three guests, any celebrity, dead or alive, who would you pick?
Um, I don't know because I don't know if I would want to meet my heroes because I don't want to be disappointed. Does that make sense? Do you know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
get
It's
you, yeah.
like, I don't know. Let's just say that all of them are like lovely people. Do you know what I mean? I'd maybe say, so how many is it? Three?
Yep, three guests.
I'd maybe say Tom Fletcher. I just think, yeah, he's a cool guy. They're all cool, but I think he's awesome. He could provide the tunes. Um, I'd maybe say, I don't know, Steven Gerrard. I'm a big Liverpool fan, so I know that there's probably a few people watching this booing me right now, but yeah, I'm a big football fan, big Liverpool fan. So I'd probably say, yeah, Tom Fletcher, Steven Gerrard, and I don't know, maybe somebody like Freddie Mercury. I think he'd be quite interesting. Yeah,
Uh, Decent
Freddie
shout.
Mercury, Tom Fletcher, and Steven Gerrard. I
Stevie
think
G, yeah.
Stevie G to
Good
just
shout.
ask him what it felt like scoring that ripper against Olympiacos in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah.
Well, I'm going to wrap the interview, so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And I hope we can do something like this again in future, maybe with more members of the band. That'd be great.
Absolutely, yeah. Anytime.